All right, great. Well, welcome everyone. It's so nice to see everybody. This is something that Deanna, Kantola, and I have been so excited to share with all of you. It's really been a journey that we've been on together for 10 years now, but we've really focused in on it the past 3 months. And so we're really excited about this. It's going to be a different sort of training than we've ever done before. So if you have questions throughout the training, please just feel free to put those in the chat. We're not going to get to them until the end because we want to make sure we don't run out of time. But feel free to put them there as they come up. And I know our teams have grown so big. So if there's some of you that Deanna and I haven't gotten a chance to meet yet, I just want to welcome you and do just a little brief introduction. Both Deanna and I are Senior Vice President Sales Leaders. So what that means is that we've grown quite large teams over the past 10 and 12 years, and that we are at the top level of the Norwex leadership chain. So we have traveled through all the levels, whether you're a new consultant who hasn't started building a team yet, or a team coordinator, sales leader, red jacket, we've been where you are. And we're so excited that you're taking the time to invest in yourself and in your business by joining us today. I've been with Norwex 12 years, and I'll let Deanna tell you a bit about her journey in just a second. But when I first came to Norwex, some of you have heard me talk about my theory that 5% is always greater than 35% in Norwex, which I realize is not at all sound mathematically, but it does work in Norwex. So I grew up in a direct sales home with my mom being a Mary Kay sales director. So I really came to Norwex with a vision that I wanted to grow a team right away. I knew that I could impact far more people if I was duplicating myself than if I was trying to just sell to everyone on my own. And I definitely did not wait until I knew enough to get started building a team. I started right away and just learned right along with them. And it was great. It was a beautiful journey. So, and Deanna is one of my very best friends in Norwex. We have very complementary skills with one another, meaning they don't overlap very much at all. But our core values are just pretty much exactly the same, and I just adore her and respect her. So I'm going to turn it over to Deanna now and let her share.
Thank you, Suzanne. Yes, we're so different. Even our stories are like completely opposite. So I came into Norwex not having any direct sales experience whatsoever, and just wanted to sell enough to earn $1,000 a month. And Suzanne is my sponsor. She is my direct. So she kept saying to me, Deanna, don't you want to build a team? I'm like, no, I don't. And so she would be like, well, you have a lot of people in Michigan. And I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. I'm not going to do that. But I kept having, I was kind of new in Michigan and people were wanting to join. And finally I said to Suzanne, I have so many people who want to join and I don't know what to do with them. And she said, sign them up and I will help you. So I did, and she did help me. And what happened was I promoted to team coordinator, which is the first level of leadership in Norwex. And I'll never forget it. If I live to be 100 years old, I will not forget the first time that Norwex deposited $62 into my bank account because I was a team coordinator. And I said to Suzanne, Norwex just deposited $62 into my bank account. And I said, I think I have time. I think I can make time to build a team. So that's kind of what turned the corner for me, was that $62. And it was great fun. And so she's held my hand kind of the whole time, but I do want to just share with you, it has been the last 3 months. So I'm going to kind of back up a little bit. A year ago in April, my dad passed away and things changed for me. So I'm going to share some numbers. I'm not a numbers person, but I think the numbers are important here. Prior to my dad passing, I was team building. I was probably adding 2 to 3 team members consistently every month. And that was just what I was doing. That was my normal. Then my dad passed and my team numbers, adding new team members just dropped. And it was like 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. In fact, I looked them up so I could share with you. And prior to June, the 6 months before that, it was 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. And I am Suzanne's direct, so I have access to her numbers. She shares them with her personal team all the time. And I was watching her numbers, and hers were like 10, 14, 12, 14. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm missing something. Something is wrong. Something's wrong with me. And I knew it was my head because I had learned the skills. This was all headspace, and I just couldn't figure it out. I'm like, Suzanne and I have the same opportunities, but I'm missing it. So we were actually, I know right where I were. We were on our pontoon boat on our lake. And I messaged Suzanne and I said, something's wrong with me. I'm missing something. You tell me what you're doing. Your numbers were 14 last month. What are you doing? And Suzanne, being ever so patient as she always is, she wasn't like shocked or anything. She's like, well, I think in my head, I just solve problems. It's just really natural for me to solve a problem. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's probably true, but I don't get it. And I said, what I really would like to do is attend the Suzanne Holt School of Team Building. And she laughed and I said, no, I really do. I need to see things through your eyes. Are you willing just to kind of work with me a little bit? I don't expect you to do my job or anything, but you're doing something and you might not even know it, but I need to know what it is. I need to see it. I need to figure it out. She said, yeah, I can do that. So what I started to do, and again, it was very informal. We didn't meet once a week or anything like that, but I would send her a situation and I'd be like, this is what I see. What do you see? And she would share with me what she would see. And I couldn't grasp what she was doing at first, but as we started working together, we started working in June. In June, my team building numbers were 3. In July, they were 5. In August, they were 4. And so Suzanne and I had to sit down. We said, something's working here and we need to figure it out because whatever it is, we need to share it with other people. Like whatever happened, we need to share with other people because there's something here. So I had a call with Brian Dill shortly after that. And I was telling Brian, I go like, Brian, I'm working with Suzanne and it's working. I don't really know what. I don't understand it. Suzanne said she solves problems and she does, but I don't understand it. And he said, this is what's going on, Deanna. He said, the difference, he said, I'm going to be completely honest with you because I think you can handle it. I said, I can handle it. Be honest with me. He said, the difference between you and Suzanne is confidence. Suzanne is confident in what she's saying and you aren't. And I'm like, you know what? I think you're right. He said, Suzanne speaks truth and you speak your truth. And so I want to give you an example of that, but I'm going to say it again because I've written it down and I've shared it with other people, but this is the bottom line. Suzanne speaks truth and I was speaking my truth. So Brian, I said, I think you're right, Brian. And so I shared with him, I said, when my dad passed away, my numbers just dropped. They just changed and they have never recovered. And he said, I can see that. And I said, I think what happened during that time, my dad was in hospice care. I was kind of living with him, working with him. And all I could think is, I don't have enough time. Just like I thought in the beginning, I don't have enough time. This is too hard. I can't help her. I don't have time. And I just never came out of that. Well, after working with Suzanne, my mindset has changed 100%. And so we're going to try to share with you what that looks like. But first of all, I'm going to tell you what this isn't. This isn't a magic pill. It's not the easy button. Rhonda Boss and I always kind of joke that we're looking for the magic button. Like you go to a training, you're like, what's the magic button? There isn't a magic button. It's not that. It's a thought process, and we're going to try to communicate the best we can what that looks like. The other thing this is not about doing more. So just write that down. Like, you don't have to do more. This is about, like I said, Suzanne and I have the same opportunity. And so this is about taking the opportunity that's in front of you and making the most of it. And we're going to share some examples with you on how to do that. What I've learned about Suzanne after working with her for 3 months is Suzanne wholeheartedly, beyond the shadow of a doubt, without question, believes that the Norwex opportunity is the best opportunity that anybody can take advantage of. And she shares it in that way because she believes that with her whole heart. And there are people who accept that and there are people who don't. Either way, she walks away still believing that this is the best opportunity for everyone. The other thing is because Suzanne stops and asks questions and looks for the problem that she can solve, when she adds a new team member, she walks away and she feels good about it. And what changed for me is when I switched to her thought process, that happened for me too. When I started team building, looking to help people and solve their problems and being excited about the opportunity, I walk away every time and I feel good about it. So it's not only how I'm doing it, but it's also how I feel after I've done it. And don't all of us want to feel 100% good about it after we add a new team member, walking away just feeling like I just did something to help her and help her take advantage of it. So it's not about doing more. Suzanne answers questions. She helps people. She keeps it very, very simple. And she's going to share that with you. But that when I asked Suzanne what she did that day on the boat, when I'm like, what are you doing? And she said, the only thing I can think of is I solve problems and I keep it simple. I said, what do you mean you keep it simple? She goes, I only give them what they want to know. I do not load them down with a bunch of information. And very rarely do I use the FAQ. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. We're going to get to all of that. But these are things that I have picked up on. But what I just want to say is that this is something that you all can do. It takes a little time, but now I have to tell you, I'm starting to think like Suzanne. Suzanne said to me at the end of 3 months, she said, are you all done with the Suzanne Holt School of Team Building? I said, no, I'm not done. I said, but I am catching on. I know there's more to learn, but I'm picking up on the thought process. So today we're gonna hope to give you what we've learned along the way, and then I'm gonna share some things in there as we go along. But I'm gonna turn it over to Suzanne and let us know again what questions you have as you're going through. Okay?
Perfect. Thanks, Deanna. And we have to remember, at some point, you had a success story from one of your leaders, too, that you talked to about this.
Oh, do you want me to share that right now about the FAQ?
Do you want to? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Heather Barkey, raise your hand. So I was sharing with Suzanne, Heather's on the call. So Heather is a top leader on my team. And I had been working with Suzanne for a couple of months, and Heather and I were just chatting one day, very informally. I don't even think it was we don't do training calls, but we chat all the time. They end up being training calls for both of us. And Heather was wanting to and I share this with Heather's permission. I had asked her if I could share this because it comes back to the FAQ. And Heather's wanting to do her business online. She has 4 children. She's very busy. She likes the idea of doing her business online. She goes, but I have I'm a concern. So Heather is one of the top recruiters on my team, and she said, since I've been online, um, I'm just not team building like I used to. And I said, well, I don't know what it is, but I can guarantee you it's a mindset of some sort. It just is, because you have the skill. Like, that's the thing that Brian Dill said too. He said, I have leaders come to me and they'll say, I am saying the same thing I said a year ago. And it's not working anymore. And that comes back to that they're sharing what they think is truth, but they're sharing their truth, and people are hearing what's in their head. I know it's confusing, but there's truth to it. So, and I said, I don't know what's going on, Heather, but something's going on. It's your mindset, and I'm not sure what it is, but let me just tell you, I said, I've been working with Suzanne, and these are things that she's telling me, and she keeps it very simple, and she asks questions, and she doesn't use the FAQ. And I just kind of went through some things that I had learned from Suzanne. I had a call with Heather yesterday, and looking at her team, since I shared that with her a month ago. Shortly after that, the next month, she had 4 new team members, and already this month, she's had 2 new team members. And I'm like, well, what did you do? What's changed? And she said, I don't use the FAQ anymore until they say yes. She said, is that right, Heather? Yeah, she said, I'm looking for the problem. I'm trying to solve the problem. I'm asking questions. And after they agree, then I send them the FAQ. And what it is that Heather's working with them more one-on-one. Again, it was just changing her mindset a little bit. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that makes sense. But it was just interesting to me that just that little change and working, kind of hearing what Suzanne was doing. There's nothing wrong with the FAQ. That's a great document. I use it, I have it, but just keeping it simple and solving the problem, I think, is the key there.
Thanks, Deanna. And thank you, Heather, for letting her share that. I thought that was a great testimonial. Real results always show, right, that something's working. And I just saw something pop up in the chat. Someone asked about an example, and I'm going to tell you guys now, and we'll repeat it again later. After this training, we're going to give you a link where you can request a document that we've been working on for quite a while, and it's 14 pages of things that we're covering now, but it's going to give you actual sample verbiage. So sometimes when we were working together, Deanna would say, well, here's what they said. How would you respond? And I would write it out. And she started keeping track. And then I said, well, can I have a copy of that so that I can see what I'm saying? Because it just comes out naturally. So we really worked on this, and it's going to have some great verbiage. If you guys want to copy and paste it until it becomes natural for you, I am totally fine with that. But I'm going to back up a little bit, and one section in the document we're sending you is some things that people tell me stop them from team building, and how I would reframe the thought process on that. And Deanna really touched on that a lot when she said she thought she didn't have time for it. And that's one that we hear, I don't have time, it's going to take over my life. I just heard this in a conversation I had with a very successful salesperson on my team this week. She said, I can't devote more time to this. And I will tell you that if you're doing it right and using the resources that Norwex has, it's easy. Norwex has all the training out there. When I started, we had to create everything from scratch. And now with our resource website, all the videos we've got, everything you need to do to train a new consultant, Norwex already has created for you. So all you need to do is basically be their best friend, especially for the first 3 months, and help point them in the right direction. And when you do that, leadership is fun, because then you're celebrating their wins with them. Deanna and I aren't sitting down and having conversations about the ingredients in mattress cleaner or whatever it may be. We're talking more theory and strategy, and then we know that we can always point people to the actual tools and trainings if they need those. So some other questions, there's things that people have said stop them from team building. One I hear a lot is, I'm worried that people will think I'm pushy. That one honestly never crosses my mind. Because especially after 12 years of seeing how Norwex can and does change people's lives, I'm not worried about someone thinking I'm pushy if I offer them the opportunity. I'm worried that I'm going to run into someone 2 years down the road and they're going to say, why didn't you ever tell me? Why didn't you offer it? I just learned about it from someone, or they're going to tell me about something financial that happened in their life that if they had Norwex, they would have had an opportunity to take care of and meet that need. So I never think you're being pushy when you offer someone the opportunity to try a product, host a party, or join your team. All you're offering them is the opportunity. And like Deanna said, you're offering to help them solve a problem. Really, don't all three of those things solve a problem? And I think becoming a consultant solves a whole lot of problems. So it's never being pushy. Let's see, the other one that I hear a lot.
After that, I real quickly,
Yeah.
I remember Dolores Vandenborgard saying one time in a training she did, she said, if you are worried about being pushy, chances are really good you won't be. So I thought that was good.
Yeah. I just totally messed up my computer. Okay, so those are the two biggest ones I think I hear from people, or sometimes too, I don't know enough yet. Like I said, when I started, you guys, I knew so little. I just jumped in and didn't worry at all about what I didn't know. I just got very good at saying, you know what, let me get back to you on that. I'll find out the answer and get back to you. Or let's learn it together, right? So if I waited until I knew enough to get started, I still wouldn't have started. So start right now. The best time to start is right when you join, really. So things that stop people from team building. And then the second thing where I find people are seeing obstacles is they don't know when and how to reach out. And this is something where we've got tons of text written out for you. I'm just gonna share a couple of them. And our business has changed so much in the past year, hasn't it? So previously, most of this conversation would have been about what to say at a home party. And I am still going to start with that because really, Norwex is a home party business. That's who we are. Day one, when someone asks me or my kids at a craft show, what's Norwex? Or usually we're asking them if they'd like to learn more. And we always start with Norwex is a home party company that specializes in high quality microfiber that allows you to clean the majority of your house with cloth and water. But I think it's important to, sorry, I'm going to try to find and mute whoever just popped in. It's important to lead always with that we are a home party company. That's how we share our mission. They're not going to be able to walk into their local Target and find Norwex. So home party company, home parties are really our lifeblood and where it all starts. So one thing I always say at every party, whether it's a live demo on Zoom or Facebook Live or at a home party is, and this is completely true, my favorite part of my job is training new consultants. So if you're looking to learn more about the Norwex opportunity, or if you know someone who may be looking for something a little extra, mention it to me at checkout and I'll give you some information. So that statement, it's short, but I'm trying to convey a couple of things to them. First of all, I welcome new consultants. So if there's someone sitting there thinking, wow, I'm kind of interested, but I don't want her to think I'm going to steal her business. And maybe there's too many consultants already. I want to eliminate that thought right away. My favorite part of my job is finding and training new consultants. Always has been, always will be. So I want to put that out there. And then just offering if they're looking for information for them or someone else. Because they may have a sister or best friend or former coworker who just got laid off, or maybe their husband lost his job, or someone texted me today that she needs to ramp up her Norwex business because of some medical expenses in the family. You know, we're always wanting to ask who else they may know that you can help. And again, it's all about solving the problem. The other one that I've been trained on and used ever since day one with Norwex is the mop, right? We all love the mop. It's one of the top of the line things in our catalog. So when you're demoing it, always tell them there's 3 ways you can get the mop. I'm happy to sell it to you tonight, or you can earn it for free through hosting a party. And also it comes free in the new consultant starter kit, which is how I got mine. So it's super easy. I feel like I interject a lot of little things like that rather than I don't play fancy games or do a really elaborate team building talk. I just try to insert genuine statements to keep reminding them that I would welcome them or someone they know and care about to join my team. So that would be during the party demo. What about at checkout? Here, Krista's saying no games here either. You and I are so alike, my friend. At checkout, always again being genuine. So, you know, if I met Deanna at a party, she's the life of the party. Like everybody knows that. She would be chatting with everybody. So at checkout, I would just say something like, Deanna, you seem like you were really having fun tonight. Did you enjoy the party? And, you know, she'll say, yes, of course. I bet you have a long wish list, right? And when I was writing this down in the document I'll send to you, I actually put in parentheses, smile and nod your head. You have a long wish list, right? And then say, I'm always watching for people that I think would be great in helping share our Norwex mission. As you were watching the party tonight, did any interest cross your mind at all? Because I think you would be fantastic. You clearly love people, and I can see you're really interested in this product. And then just take it from there. But it's authentic about her. I'm not just going to ask everybody at checkout, so would you like to take home some information on our business opportunity? You know, I'm going to compliment specifically something that I noticed about Deanna. Yeah, and then I'm going to go over this later at the always must do, but definitely I would set a time to follow up with her. And so if I gave Deanna some information to take home from a party, it's probably going to be something like either the Norwex opportunity brochure, or I have one of my own. It's one sheet of paper, 8.5 by 11. I would not give her a massive kit with the success builder and everything else, because that's information overload. What I want is to establish the relationship with her. So I'm going to give her a little something to pique her interest and then set a time to follow up. And always asking, you know, if it's Monday night, when would be a good time for us to chat? Does tomorrow morning or afternoon work? You know, and if she says afternoon, great. How about 2 o'clock? I'll call you at 2. That way we've got an appointment, and her excitement is going to be highest in the first 24 to 48 hours. So I don't want to just send her home with a brochure and then wait and hope that I see her at her friend's party in 3 weeks. You know, so those are some things at the home party. Also, what about when you're a new consultant and you're just getting started, you're just learning the product, but you would really love this friend or family member to join you? Honestly, that's one of the best times to bring people in, because you learn together. And I can still remember those early days as a consultant and having a friend who is a consultant come over, and we do like our customer care calls together in the house in 2 different rooms, because you're learning and growing together. So it's always a great time. And you can say something like, I'm having so much fun starting out as a Norwex consultant, and it's been so easy to get started. I know, you know, something about their life. You're really passionate about having your home be healthier for your kids, or I know you've been wanting to put the kids in private school, or, you know, little Joey's going to college next year, something about them. And then saying, it would be so fun to do this with you. Would you be interested in checking it out? But just something simple. like that, not we earn 35% and, you know, all the details of that, but just something simple of, and again, I guess I just realized, Deanna, as I was saying it, looking for what is a problem that you know, because you care about them, that they have in their life. You know, when I met Deanna, I knew, she told me she had boys that she wanted to put through college without any student loan debt. That is what she needed to solve. So you're always going back to that. Then let's see, Deanna, is there anything you want to insert there?
Yes. Can I speak to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to share with you something that I observed when I was working with Suzanne, because now everything is virtual. And so as I was sending her stuff, or I would see her numbers go up, and I'm like, okay, what'd you just do there? Send it to me. And so I started picking out things that she was doing that she wasn't even aware of. And I'm going to share those with you. So when I say that Suzanne solves problems, you're all going, okay, I get that, but how do you find that problem? This is how she finds a problem. So when I was working with her and she was sending me stuff, she, like, if somebody won a prize, or if somebody wanted to place an order, one of the things she asked is she would say, are your friends and family familiar with Norwex? I picked that out of something that she sent me. I'm like, she's looking for the problem. She doesn't even know it, but she's looking for are your friends and family familiar with Norwex? Well, no, they're not. Well, let me tell you about an opportunity. You know, like, it just came so natural. I do that all the time now. I did it today. Somebody won a prize. She's from Oklahoma. She was really excited. So this is all done through Facebook Messenger. I'm like, are your friends and family familiar with Norwex? Because I said to him, have you ever tried Norwex products? No, but I really love your demos. Well, are your friends and family? See how that's what she does. Another thing she does, like, when she starts working with somebody that is kind of interested in learning more about the business opportunity, something I picked up that Suzanne does is she says, well, what excites you about Norwex? She doesn't say, what's your problem? She says, well, what excites you about Norwex? And they reply in a number of different ways. I love the products. In all honesty, I just want the discount. Number two, well, I think I could do it. I really am excited about the product. I'm excited, but I'm nervous about videos. So now you see how the problems come out as she's talking about them. So what excites you about Norwex? Are your friends and family familiar with Norwex? And these are things that I picked up that Suzanne was doing, that after a month or so, I'm like, you're right, Suzanne, you solve problems, but you find them by asking questions. And I wrote some down here of what she does. And I love that she's always so kind about it. So if somebody says, well, I'm not sure I have enough, or what excites you about Norwex? Well, I love the products. I'm excited that maybe I could earn some extra income, but I'm really not sure I have enough, I have time, I have a full-time job. Then Suzanne will say, and you probably don't even know you did this, Suzanne. She'd be like, yeah, I get that. I have I had a full-time job too, but in Norwex, you really only have to do a few parties to earn your kit for free. Do you think you could do a party a month or a party every 2 weeks? Yeah, I think I could do that. Do you see how she starts solving the problem? I really want you to see the progression of how she does that, because when I found out, she, you know, yes, Suzanne, you're solving problems, but she asks questions to bring that out. So it can be a variety of things, and I'm starting to pick up on that and do that myself, like um, asking questions in a way that you can help them, and it's a variety. It can come in a variety of things, and I mean, I had somebody say, well, I'm due for my baby at this time. And so we start working through that. And Suzanne guided me through that, but she asked these questions, and that's how you do it virtually through Messenger, really, or email. I think Suzanne does a lot through email as well, but I hope that's helpful, because that is how she's looking for those problems that she's going to solve.
Thanks, Deanna. Yeah, and the question that you zeroed in on when was are your friends and family familiar with Norwex? that's, it's kind of like making them aware of the problem and then also giving them the opportunity at the same time. Because if they're excited about reducing harmful chemicals in their home and they realize, oh yeah, my friends and family are not familiar with Norwex. Well, I have two amazing opportunities for you. The best one is help me share our mission, you know, and you sign them up. And I always lead with that. And if they're not interested in that, then great. Why don't we have a demo? Why don't we have a party, presentation, whatever you want to call it, and we'll share with them. But I always would lead with join our mission, lead with that first. So the next thing I was going to go into is someone had asked me, what about when you hand out samples or a try it kit? And there are definitely, like, there's lots of times I'm just giving away product. Norwex is so generous with us, especially when you're building a team. And I want to always pass that on. And I will tell you guys, when I signed up with Norwex, do you know what I had? All I had was a travel and viral cloth. Because my mom had said, I remember she went to a party and she asked me, like, wouldn't I like Norwex for Christmas? And I thought, well, no, that sounds really dumb. Why would I want cleaning supplies? But I got a travel and viral cloth and I was obsessed. And I signed up as a consultant without ever seeing a party, ever knowing anything about the compensation plan. Like, I just Googled it and realized this is genius. Everyone needs to know about it. So I'm a big believer in use the generosity that Norwex has blessed us with to bless others. So I give away a lot of samples and try it kits. And then when you're following up with them, we know they're going to be excited, right? So you're going to start with questions and, you know, what did you think about the samples I sent? Or what did you think about the kit I lent you? And then when they say they love it, make it clear, I didn't lend that to you, Kelly, because I was hoping you would make a purchase. I lent it to you because I'm looking for people to help me spread the Norwex mission. You were impressed. Do you think your friends and families would be impressed as well? Great. And then, do you think many of them have heard about Norwex? And if she says no, then I would say, would you be interested in just hearing a little bit about our consultant opportunity and how you could help share that with your friends and family? And then if she says no, then I'll ask her to host a party. And then if she says no, then I'll offer to sell her product. But always lead with the very best thing that you have to offer someone is our business opportunity. And getting the product in their hands quickly is a great way to get them excited about that. Okay, host coaching. This is all going to be typed up, so I'm going to cover this fairly quick. If you are including business opportunity discussions in your host coaching, you should be able to sign up at least 1 out of every 4 hosts. So for those of you doing multi-host parties, if you have 4 hosts in one party, you should be signing up at least 1 of them, just statistically. And you guys know I'm a numbers girl, so that's just the averages. So some things you can do to share with your host is always including something in the host kit. And again, not 5 different pieces of paper telling them about Norwex, not the success builder. Please do not put that in a host kit. Use something simple, either the Norwex opportunity brochure, or we have a dream team one that you can get customized with Deja with all of your info. During host coaching, even if they're already in the event, talk to your host. Say, you know what, as we're planning this party, I can see that you're getting more and more excited, Nancy. Have you given any thought to joining me as a consultant? And then just listen. Don't ask if she's read the brochure. Don't start telling her a bunch of facts. Just ask, have you given any thought to that? And then you decide where you go from there. If she says yes and wants to sign up, for me personally, especially in this online world, she's already in that event. I'm just going to change the shopping link and get her started right away and make that her launch party. It's no more work for you, but always offering to the host. And if she's for sure not interested, you know, you go down that whole conversation with her, it's not the right time for her. 2 other things that I want you to always ask her, and this is written down in the follow-up they're going to get. Who has already RSVP'd for the party that she thinks would make a great consultant? especially in this online world, we need our hosts to be kind of our scout, pulling out those people that we should talk about. So if Nancy says, you know, my cousin Lindsay, I'm going to make sure I watch for Lindsay. And when Lindsay comments that she joined the party because she's Nancy's cousin, I'm going to say, oh my goodness, I love your profile picture. That's a, you know, an adorable picture of your dog or, you know, what kind is it? And start a conversation with her. And I learned that from Deanna when we were training together about online parties one time, is that every time someone comments, if you just like their comment, you're being lazy, because at a home party, you wouldn't just nod and walk away. You would say something back. So always saying something back, but ask your host, who's attending that you think would make a great consultant? And then the second question, who does she know that's unable to attend the party, but that she thinks would make a great consultant? So not, Jane, do you know someone who might be interested? No. Jane, who do you know that hasn't RSVP'd for the party? Maybe she's not on Facebook or she's busy that night. Who do you know that you think would make a great consultant? I'd love to send them a sample pack. You know, something simple like that. Your hosts like you. They're doing business with you. If you ask them to introduce you to other people, they will do it. So always, who do you know? There's some more examples in what we're sending out, but I'm going to stop with that for now. Right away, Deanna and I both froze, like, is that my phone or her phone? Okay, and follow-up and referrals. This, I've got a lot of text typed out for you guys, but make sure your customers always know that you value and welcome any introduction they want to give to someone who they think would be interested in Norwex. So I'm always putting that out there, that I give referral gifts. You know, if you send someone to me that you think may be interested in making a purchase or joining my team or booking a party. And I've got a long story detailed out in here about how this happened just recently, where a long-term customer of mine from across the country, she had some friends over, and one of her friends was noticing all the Norwex stuff and thought, this is really cool. And so she went online and just started filling up a shopping cart. She had no idea, didn't know any consultants. And my customer, Nancy, said, oh, no, go through my girl in Minnesota. So, you know, she's making the referral and connecting me to her friend. And it was a great conversation, and met a fantastic new consultant who's now a member of our team. But always make sure that you're asking them to introduce you and that you're thanking them when they do. Let's see, lead list. I'm just going to go over this quickly too. You guys always have a team building lead list. So I have a folder in my email that just says potential new team members. Every single month, I am emailing, texting, Facebook messaging them something, and it doesn't have to be something fancy, but even something like, hi Katie, this is Suzanne Holt with Norwex. You were on my mind tonight and I wanted to touch base. We chatted about the Norwex consultant opportunity in the past, and I wanted to reach out about a fun change we just made to our compensation plan. Are you interested in hearing more? That was something I wrote up when we changed to having the two options where they can earn their kit for free with $1,000 in 30 days or 2,090 days. But again, you're looking for the opportunity to contact someone. October 1st, it could be, hey Katie, this is Suzanne Holt with Norwex. I wanted to reach out because we just entered our very busiest selling season of the year. And I know we've talked about the consultant opportunity in the past. I'm really looking for people to help me share Norwex this holiday season. What do you think? Have you given it any thought? But consistently reaching out to those leads. Nobody gets off my lead list unless they tell me to go away, because I have had so many people sign up after 6 months, 12 months, 24 months. I mean, even there's one person I can think of, I think I emailed her for about 5 years before she signed up, but they don't get off your lead list until they tell you to go away. Any comments on that, Deanna? Otherwise, should we go into answering some of like the questions and Um,
Yeah, I just have a couple things. One of the things that I learned from Suzanne when I was working with her is I added her to one of my events because I said, I know there's opportunity here and I'm missing it. So, what I learned from watching Suzanne go through that event is her eyes are trained to look for somebody who's interested. And so she can see the opportunity by their excitement in the workshop, if they're asking a lot of questions. So much what we're doing online now is different than an in-home party. So she would go through my workshop and she goes, well, this girl's really asking a lot of questions. Maybe reach out to her, you know. So you reach out and say something again like, I see you're asking a lot of questions. Have you ever done direct sales before, or something like that, to again create that opportunity? So her eyes are just always trained to find that opportunity. Somebody asked the question, of course now we're not checking people out, so they're all checking themselves out, and what do you do about that? And I asked Suzanne about that, and she gave me some wording that she uses, and I have it on my little cheat sheet that I started collecting hers, and it just says, please let me know if you'd like to chat about hosting or our consultant opportunity sometime. Norwex is booming right now. We're finding people really enjoy online parties, either on Facebook or Zoom. I offer both options. So that's kind of what how she would follow up. So I hope that answers that question on that one. And Suzanne, were you going to open it up for questions, or were we going to talk about?
I was just going to go quickly into some of the objections, like should I start now or later? Because
Yeah.
you had a great story on that one. And again, you guys are going to get this all in writing. So people who are asking for me to repeat things, literally all of this is going to come to your email inbox. But answering questions, keeping it simple. So how much time will it take? That's really up to you. Some consultants do a couple of parties a week, some do a couple of parties a month. For some, it's a full-time job. And for some, it's just a gig where they buy at a discount for themselves and friends and family. And then I always say, we do ask that you host a couple of in-person or online parties in your first 60 days to help you reach your initial sales goal. And of course, I'm here to help you with that. So simple. How much time will it take? Make it simple, the answer. Deanna, you have a great story to share about how, whether you should start now or later, because in my honest opinion, always now, always today. I have never in 12 years seen someone wait where it benefited them to wait. Never.
Right. That was one of the things I picked up with working with Suzanne. Is I was sending her things. I'm like, this is what I see. What do you see here? And so people would be like, I don't know whether to start now or should I wait till my party in October, or what should I do? And Suzanne, this will be in your document. She said, timing is important, but I found that most people are most successful when they jump right in, when their excitement is high, regardless of what else is going on in life. That's when you're most passionate and talking about it the most. So I like to see you get these initial sales from your friends and family. In my 14 years of experience, I have found that people are most successful when they jump in and learn along the way. And so I started picking up on that, don't wait. And that's what happened with me with Suzanne. Like she had me signed up within, at that time we were faxing and everything, so I had to drive to a fax machine, but within a couple hours. And I had been debating it for 3 months. And I talked to Suzanne that day, and within 3 hours I was signed up. So just this past week, I have an online party that's going to be on the 23rd. And I had been working with a gal. We were going back and forth, and she had gotten a basic package. She was super excited about it. And I'm like, hey, have you ever thought about becoming a consultant? She's like, yeah, I actually have. And so then we went back and forth. I shared some information with her, and she's like, all right, I'm doing it. So I looked at my calendar, and I'm like, her party's on the 23rd. So I probably shouldn't sign her up to the 16th so she can earn that new. And I was like, wait, no, that's not smart. Suzanne wouldn't do that. So I was like, okay, great, let's sign you up. And then I thought, we'll just figure it out. So we signed her up. I plugged her into a party like the next day, but she's doing great. She's excited. Like you can see her excitement. She's got a bunch of people in there. And so that was just one of the things, like, I'm like, I'm going to trust Suzanne's 14 years of experience that people do better when they start, when their excitement is high. So sign them up and then figure it out. And that was one of my takeaways with working Suzanne. Don't try to hold them off or figure everything out. Just like, okay, we're going to figure this out. Let's go.
Yeah, perfect. And that's really, I mean, that's how I started, and that's how I've always believed is good. Just jump in when you're excited. You know, don't wait. I think I'm going to get to wrap it up here because we're at about 50 minutes. Just one last thing is, I find, especially in person, I make a lot of, I use a lot of closing questions. So instead of giving all the details, answering someone's questions and then saying, how does that sound, Deanna? Are you ready to get started? And then if she has more questions, answer more questions. What are your thoughts so far? Are there questions I can answer for you? Additional questions I can answer? Are you ready to jump in and get started? So always offering them that, like, close. Are they ready to get started? What would be an initial goal that you think Norwex could help you or your family fulfill? How do you see this fitting into your schedule initially? So it's kind of like when you're selling a house, you know, they tell you to remove your family photos so that people can imagine themselves there. Same thing, help them imagine that they're already a consultant. So how do you see this fitting into your family's schedule? And do you think you would do your initial launch parties online or in person? So visualize them walking through that door. We have so much that we're going to send you guys. I love it. Somebody just said they want a part 2. Who knows? Maybe we'll be a little bit different in our training next week. So feel free to join that one as well. And they'll both be recorded. We have, like I said, we've got this document that we're willing to send out, but I am going to make a request of you guys. This is, it would really hurt my feelings if I saw somebody post this on Consultant Connection, because this is something we've never done before, and we want to share it with you because you're our team. But we're just asking that you not forward this to other people. If you have team members that want to watch the training, great. Once they watch the training link, then they can fill out and request the form for the document, because it's not going to be as beneficial to someone who just reads it and copy and pastes. We really want, we wanted you guys to see this, and I want others too, to see Deanna and I really talking this through, because it's a process, and people need to know it's genuine. So I'm going to tell you the link, and I'm going to put it here in the chat first. Deanna, do you have anything you want to add while I'm doing that?
I do. Yeah. I just want to I want to just maybe say it again, that this isn't about doing more. What I learned from Suzanne is looking at the opportunity that's in front of me already and making the most of it. Train your eyes to watch for that. So I think with online parties, especially if you're doing multi-host, sometimes all we can think about is, I need to, okay, I got to get this done. There's so many comments, and you miss the opportunity. Carve out time and look at it slowly. When I had Suzanne start looking at it and teaching me how to look for the opportunity, it changed everything. And so I slow down now with my parties. So if you can't do that, if you have 10 hosts, then only have 5. And right now in my party, I have 6, because I had 10 and I was missing opportunity. Now I have 6 and I can see opportunity. Now, you girls are a lot younger than I am. You can probably have 10 and see all the opportunities. So I'm not saying don't do that, but just make sure that with what you are doing, you are slowing down so you can see the opportunity. because I had things falling through the cracks. Train your eyes to look for the opportunity. You can do it all through Facebook Messenger. Just reach out to people. Hey, you said this. What are your thoughts on that? That kind of thing. Um, I had 3 big takeaways after working with Suzanne, just to pare it down, that she taught me that I think about all the time. And one was, start them now. Just start them now, right now. Like, don't try to figure everything out. Um, don't make it harder for them than it is. Don't make it hard. So this gal, if I would have stopped her and said, well, let's sign you up on the 16th, I'm doing her a disservice. First of all, I'm making it complicated, and she's ready. She's excited. So that was something, one of my takeaways. Number 2, keep it simple. Like, keep it very, very simple. You don't have to explain the career plan. Follow their lead. That's why you want them to ask questions. You ask questions so that you can get answers and follow their lead. I learned that from Suzanne. It's not just about sending an FAQ. That FAQ is great. After you, like Heather said, she gets them, they say yes. Then if you want some reading material over the weekend, here's some things to look over. Make sure they know. I mean, you definitely want to share with them that, the part about selling 1,000 and selling 2,000, and if you don't, you pay 200 for your kit. You want to make that clear. I'm not trying to play a trick on anybody, but don't overshare information about earning the trip and that kind of thing. And thirdly, I think what really changed my belief when I worked with Suzanne was this line that she uses over and over and over again. And I copy and paste it. I love it. And I believe it now. The nice thing about Norwex is there's really only a commitment to try a few parties to earn your kit for free. That gives you the opportunity to see what you want to do with it. I'm here to coach and help you all along the way. I'm like, that's the truth. That's what she believes. That's the truth. She speaks truth. And that's one of the things that's working for me. Another thing I really like about the question, do your friends and family know about Norwex, is it opens up a world of opportunity, but it also gives you the opportunity ethically to say, oh, have you been working with another consultant? Suzanne is very good about always asking them that question to make sure that we aren't jumping in on somebody else's work that they've already done. So we want to be careful about that too. Ultimately, it is the customer, I guess if you want to say, the guest choice, what they want to do, but that gives you that opportunity to see if they have already been asked or worked with another consultant. So those were my big takeaways so far in working with Suzanne. And it's been, like I said, over 3 months, but it changed things for me right away, immediately. Like I was like, wow. And then that's when we're like, we have to figure this out so we can share it with other people. So I hope that helps. And do we want to open it up for questions, or are we just going to go through
Yeah,
here?
thanks, Deanna. If you guys have questions, please just put them in the chat. We've got over 150 people online, so I'd prefer that we don't have people unmuting. I had written down a note, Deanna, to remember to talk about team building ethics, and I think you covered it beautifully. This just happened to me last night. I got an email from someone that was asking questions about the consultant opportunity, and her name was really familiar, and so I was trying to figure out, is she from Minnesota, or how have I met her? And we were going back and forth, and then she said, why would it be better for me to sign up with you than a different consultant that I've purchased from? And right, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, have you had any conversations with anybody else? Like, immediately pause, and I didn't answer any of her other questions that she had sent in that email. I just made it clear I wouldn't try to sign her up if she already had a consultant. And then she came back and said, oh no, I've purchased from 3 different people, never have actually talked to any of them. And I think I was one of the people she purchased from. So, but always asking that, has anyone already shared the business opportunity with you? Because the last thing I would want to have happen is if Deanna had shared the opportunity with someone and then they came to me and like, that would break my heart. So always operate with ethics. The recording, people are asking about that. And Kelly's asking about, do we still do Ask Me About My Job and Facebook parties? Yes, Deanna and I both do a version of Ask Me About My Job. And in the document we're sending out, I mentioned that I really, I reach out to everybody that asks a question on there privately, because I can have that conversation much differently with them than I can publicly. So, Janita, thank you. Basically everything we've said is in the document. If you guys get it and you feel like there's something missing, send me an email and we'll definitely add that. We're gonna post the link.
Somebody asked, oh yeah, go ahead. Danielle Weller asked if that quote is in the document. It is, Danielle. When Suzanne sent me the document, I looked for it. So it is in there because it's one of my absolute favorite ones.
And yes, when I message somebody in a Facebook party, I don't know, Deanna, let me know if you do this too, but I'll comment to their question with my answer, and then I'll say, I just sent you a private message, so that they know to check it. We will post this recording. I'm actually going to stop it now here.